What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit more about the Batman movie, not the Robert Pattinson one, but the Ben Affleck one. Now, I've talked about this movie a couple times in the past, and it's always, in a way, very sad, and I kind of like feel sad every time I do talk about it because it's kind of like a what could have been. We've heard the idea that it was kind of going to be like Arkham Asylum in terms of like the setting and the idea of, you know, the inmates running wild and all that kind of stuff. And you know, when that happened, I remember we actually covered it on the main channel, and I was just like, dear Jesus, they had the right idea. They just didn't do, you know, obviously what happened, and they just didn't do it. So that is very sad. And now we get a report that a fight was potentially going to be almost stolen from Arkham Origins. So it just keeps going where it's like they're literally picking the best aspects of some of these games and like they're using it as their motivation or their like reference point for their movie, and then they don't do it. And so again, this is Justice League aside, I don't even, at this point, I'm more excited. I would truly say, I'm more excited for the potential of what could come next. And if like Justice League does good and Zack Snyder is able to do movies, can they do some of this stuff? Can they do a Deathstroke standalone? Can they do a Batman movie? Can they do Justice League 2 and 3? These are, by the way, videos I will be making as the weeks go on, obviously as we get closer and when Justice League releases. So let's go over this article. Now, and this is, by the way, very, very funny. This comes from Screen Rant. They mess up the beginning, which I think some people do, and it's just kind of funny to laugh at. Oh, by the way, one final thing, very off topic, but I did see you guys telling me about the Arkham Knight and the enhancement for the Xbox Series X. Cool. I don't necessarily want to cover it, but I do think it is actually kind of a cool thing that they're throwing that in there. So just want to make everybody know that I am aware of that situation. I just don't, I want to cover other things for at least right now. So let's read the first sentence, then I'm going to skip. Ben Affleck was influenced by the Arkham Asylum games in designing the action for his planned Batman solo movie. Now, you didn't read that wrong. I didn't read that wrong. The Arkham Asylum games, all one of them, all one of the Arkham Asylum games. So they forget the fact that they're the Arkham games, not the Arkham Asylum games. So that's you know, I'm not gonna say who wrote it. We'll just I don't even care who wrote it. So let's skip ahead. Obviously, they did an interview, and this is where, you know, and now I can never freaking say his last name, so I'm gonna go off a first name basis, Joe, right? And he was talking about, you know, a lot of things. Actually, he talked about how, you know, he was supposed to be in Suicide Squad 2, and there was a couple different scripts there. He hopes that Zack Snyder can make a solo film for him, that there was actually supposed to be a solo film for him. So he actually talked a lot about like more stuff, but he talked about how Arkham Origins, or that he said that Affleck was influenced by Batman Arkham Origins in his approach to the film's action, stating he and Affleck watched the Arkham Origins Deathstroke versus Batman promotional video, which was directed by Miller, with Affleck and again, I can't say his last name, discussing how that was going to relate to the action sequences. He further stated that this also involved a discussion of one big action piece and what that was going to entail. And again, it's not the first time he talked about it. He's talked before about how Slade was going to dismantle Batman's life from the inside out by killing everyone close to Bruce and destroying his life. Again, there was plans for a solo film that would have been helmed by Gareth Evans, so on, so on, so on. So, like, again, like, these are just cool things where it's like, everybody talks about still that Deathstroke fight. I mean, that's something that when you think of Arkham Origins, that's the first thing you think of. And honestly, when you think of, you know, I always ask, or, you know, people always ask me, or I'll always kind of drop it in videos, and I'll say, you know, what was maybe your favorite boss fight from the Arkham games? And a lot of people will go to Arkham Origins because Arkham Origins actually did. Now, it was very different than the other Arkham games in terms of like the actual boss fights, but they were very, very good. You know, I always like Mr. Freeze. I'll always love that Mr. Freeze fight in Arkham City, but beyond that, yeah, I mean, Deathstroke's got to be up there, right? So, again, they're looking at the best aspects of some of these games. Arkham Asylum, with the I think, you know, one of the best parts of Arkham Asylum was actually the atmosphere and what was going on in the story. That was the best part, and that was seemingly going to be copied, and then they were going to use the action stuff from Arkham Origins, which a lot of people, including myself, do like the boss fight things that they did in Arkham Origins. So, again, they kind of had the best of both worlds as an idea for this movie, and it just, again, it didn't work. So, there's not, like, we can keep talking about it, but in reality, there's not that much more. Even someone like me who doesn't shut up, there's not a lot we can talk about, because it's like, I wish it happened. I want it to still happen. I really hope it still happens, because I want to see that. Ben Affleck isn't my favorite Batman, but, you know, I've said this before. I watched Justice League again. I've only watched it one time, back when it came out in theaters, like night one. But then I rewatched it around 2-3 weeks ago to get ready for the Snyder Cut, and I said, you know, I don't think it's actually all that bad, and I do. I like Ben Affleck's version. I don't think he's the best one, but I really like what they are doing, or what they were doing, what they are doing, because technically he's still kind of around. So, like, I like it. I mean, I would have absolutely loved to see his version in a solo capacity. Now, I am beyond excited for what they're doing with Robert Pattinson. I wasn't sold originally on him, but I mean, after that trailer, who isn't sold on him now, right? I mean, it looks absolutely incredible. So I think they're going to do an amazing. I'm not saying like I want that to be thrown under a bridge just to, you know, make Ben Affleck's work. I think you could probably do both at the same time. Would it be confusing to some people? Yeah. Is it kind of the first time that anything like that has ever happened? Yeah, but I think it could work, especially in a world right now where you have these different universes. You know, Marvel is doing their own version of it. DC is doing their version of it. I mean, we're going to kind of get used to having different versions of characters while other ones are still around. And we honestly kind of already have that, especially with certain TV shows. So I think it is possible, and I hope one day we do get to see this, because I have always wanted an Arkham. I mean, if you recreated the 3 games, Asylum, City, and Night, and I get that I didn't say Origins, but if you recreated those just as movies, like just did a straight thing, and maybe a fixed Night a little bit, I think they could be absolutely incredible. So the fact that they would do their own thing with Ben Affleck, but using the ideas of Origins and Asylum, I mean, come on, right? So let me know, guys, what you think in the comments below. Are you just as disappointed in it as me? Are you saddened by it? Do you not care? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. I do a brand new video every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.